Every organization should have its own change management procedure. What that process is depends highly on what sort of industry you work in, what kinds of processes your organization operates on the day-to-day, and what sorts of standards and regulations your company is beholden to. What's importance of a change management procedure? Imagine you're the captain of a ship, navigating through rough waters. A map and a plan are essential to reach your destination safely. Similarly, every organization needs a change management procedure, a map that guides how they handle changes in their operations. How does this tailor to any organization? Picture this: different chefs create unique dishes based on their expertise and available ingredients. Similarly, each organization tailors its change management procedure to fit its industry, processes, and regulations. Now the question is, what is the key elements of a good change management procedure? Regardless of the industry, a solid change management procedure shares a few common ingredients. These elements ensure that changes are handled effectively and efficiently. Let's explore these key elements. Effectively manage it to remain competitive and adaptable. A structured change management procedure is essential to ensure that changes are planned, executed, and adopted smoothly while minimizing disruptions and maximizing benefits. In this comprehensive guide, we'll walk through a thorough change management procedure, covering each step in detail. Change management procedure flow in 6 different phases, and in the next few slides we will discuss this in detail. The initial stage is called initiation phase, which consists of sub-stages such as identify the need for change, formulate the change management team, and define the scope and objectives. The next stage is called planning phase, which comprises of develop a change management strategy, identify key stakeholders, communication planning, as well as training and support strategy. The third stage now is called an executive phase, and this further consists of implement the change and engage and involve employees. The fourth phase is then defined as monitoring and evaluating phase, which has measure change progress and identify resistance and challenges. Fifth phase is then called adoption and reinforcement phase, which consists of provide ongoing support and celebrate wins and recognize contributions. The last phase is thus called documentation and review phase, which has document lessons learned and incorporate feedback and continuous improvement. Let's discuss all the phases in detail. First, initiation phase. 1.1 Identify the need for change. The change management procedure begins by identifying the need for change. This can be prompted by various factors, such as technological advancements, shifts in market demands, organizational growth, or process inefficiencies. The identification of the need for change should be supported by data, analysis, and a clear understanding of the problem or opportunity. 1.2 Formulate the change management team. Assemble a cross-functional team that will oversee the change management process. This team should include representatives from various departments, including senior leadership, subject matter experts, communication specialists, and HR professionals. Their diverse perspectives will contribute to a well-rounded change strategy. 1.3 Define the scope and objectives. Clearly define the scope of the change initiative and outline its specific objectives. What are the expected outcomes of the change? What areas of the organization will be impacted? Having a well-defined scope and objectives provides a roadmap for the entire process. The planning phase. 2.1 Develop a change management strategy. Based on the identified need and objectives, develop a comprehensive change management strategy. This strategy should outline the approach for communicating the change, engaging stakeholders, addressing resistance, and measuring success. It should align with the organization's culture and values. 2.2 Identify key stakeholders. Identify all individuals and groups who will be impacted by the change. This includes employees, customers, suppliers, and any other relevant parties. Understand their concerns, motivations, and potential sources of resistance. 2.3 Communication planning. Craft a detailed communication plan that outlines how information about the change will be disseminated. Communication should be transparent, timely, and tailored to different stakeholder groups. Address potential questions and concerns proactively. 2.4 Training and support strategy. Assess the skills and knowledge required for the change and develop a training strategy to equip employees with the necessary capabilities. Provide resources, workshops, and support materials to help employees adapt to the new processes or technologies. Execution phase. 3.1 Implement the change. Execute the change according to the plan developed in the previous phases. This may involve introducing new processes, systems, structures, or products. Project managers oversee the technical aspects of implementation, ensuring that timelines and milestones are met. 3.2 Engage and involve employees. Communicate the change to employees, emphasizing the reasons for the change and the benefits it will bring. Encourage open dialogue and provide opportunities for employees to ask questions and provide feedback. Address their concerns and emphasize the importance of their role in the change process. Monitoring and evaluation phase. 4.1 Measure change progress. Establish key performance indicators, KPIs, to measure the progress and success of the change initiative. These KPIs can include adoption rates, productivity improvements, customer satisfaction, and financial impact. Regularly monitor these metrics to assess whether the change is achieving the desired outcomes. 4.2 Identify resistance and challenges. Continuously monitor for signs of resistance, challenges, or unexpected roadblocks. Engage with stakeholders to understand their experiences and gather insights into any barriers they may be facing. Use this information to make informed adjustments to the change strategy. Adoption and reinforcement phase. 5.1 Provide ongoing support. Continue providing support and resources to employees as they navigate the change. Address any issues or challenges they encounter and offer solutions or guidance. This ongoing support ensures that employees feel confident and capable in the new environment. 5.2 Celebrate wins and recognize contributions. Acknowledge and celebrate achievements and milestones reached during the change process. Recognize the efforts of individuals and teams who have contributed to the success of the initiative. This boosts morale and reinforces the positive impact of the change. Documentation and review phase. 6.1 Document lessons learned. After the change has been fully implemented and adopted, conduct a comprehensive review. Document the lessons learned, challenges faced, and successes achieved. These insights will inform future change management procedures and help the organization continuously improve its approach. 6.2 Incorporate feedback and continuous improvement. Incorporate feedback from stakeholders, employees, and the change management team to refine the change management procedure. Identify areas where the process can be enhanced and streamline any aspects that proved particularly effective. Let's discuss the elements involved in a good change management process. Change identification and evaluation. Change proposal and documentation. Stakeholder analysis and engagement. Impact assessment and risk management. Approval and authorization. Change implementation plan. Testing and validation. Communication and training. Monitoring and control. Documentation and lessons learned. Closure and reporting. Let's discuss these elements in detail. First is change identification. The change management procedure begins by identifying the need for change. This can be prompted by various factors, such as technological advancements, shifts in market demands, organizational growth, or process inefficiencies. The identification of the need for change should be supported by data, analysis, and a clear understanding of the problem or opportunity. Imagine you're a treasure hunter searching for hidden gems on a map. Sometimes, you come across unexpected places with potential treasures. Change identification is like discovering these new spots. In projects, like building a new playground, changes can pop up unexpectedly. For example, you might realize that adding a water play area would make the park even more fun. This is a change identified based on evolving project requirements, like finding a hidden treasure. So, change identification is basically identifying the need for change based on evolving project requirements, unforeseen challenges, new regulations, or strategic shifts. Document the details of the proposed change, including its scope, rationale, and potential impact on the project. Second is change evaluation. Think about deciding whether to bring an umbrella with you. You consider the weather. Will it rain or shine? Change evaluation is like weighing the benefits and risks before making a decision. In projects, evaluating a change means looking at how good it could be, the benefits, and what problems it might cause, the risks. For our playground project, adding the water play area could attract more visitors, benefit, but it might also need extra resources and time, risk. Assessing the change's feasibility, benefits, risks, and alignment with project objectives and organizational strategy. Determine the extent of the change's impact on project scope, schedule, budget, resources, and quality. Third is change proposal and documentation. Let's discuss change proposal first. Imagine you're an artist creating a masterpiece. Before you start painting, you plan the colors, the shapes, and the overall idea. A change proposal is like your detailed plan for a new painting, capturing every aspect. In projects, like building a new bridge, proposing a change means preparing a formal proposal that explains what you want to change, why you want to do it, and what you expect to achieve. For instance, if you're building the bridge and realize that using a different material could make it stronger, your proposal would explain all the details of this change. While documenting is the technical side. Think about assembling a complex puzzle. You carefully put each piece in the right spot, and the final picture comes together. Documenting technical details is like having a blueprint for each puzzle piece. In projects, documenting technical details means writing down all the nitty-gritty stuff. If you're changing the bridge's material, you'd note down calculations, design changes, and any other important technical information to make sure the change fits seamlessly. Thus, to sum up, it means preparing a formal change proposal that includes a comprehensive description of the change, its goals, anticipated benefits, and potential drawbacks. Document technical details, design modifications, calculations, and any other necessary information related to the change. Fourth is stakeholder analysis and engaging. Let's understand analysis part first. Picture this: you're organizing a big party, and you want to invite everyone who's important. You create a list of all your friends and family. Stakeholder analysis is like making that list of important people for your project. In projects, stakeholders are like the guests at your party. For the bridge project, stakeholders might include the project owners, the engineers working on it, the construction contractors, local communities, and even the regulatory bodies overseeing the project. Now, engaging stakeholders. Imagine you're hosting a show, and you want the audience to enjoy every moment. Engaging stakeholders is like keeping your audience engaged and informed, so they stay excited about what's happening. In projects, engaging stakeholders means communicating with them about the proposed change. Just like you'd share details of the show with your audience, you'd create a plan to communicate with stakeholders, telling them why the change is happening, what it means for them, and how they can get involved. Thus, identifying key stakeholders who will be affected by the change, including project owners, engineers, contractors, regulatory bodies, and local communities. Develop a communication plan to engage stakeholders and provide them with relevant information about the proposed change. Next is impact assessment. Imagine dropping a pebble into a calm pond and watching the ripples spread. Every change has ripples too, affecting various things around it. Impact assessment is like studying those ripples to understand the change's effects. In projects, like constructing a new building, assessing the impact of a change means figuring out how it affects different aspects. For instance, if you decide to add another floor to the building, you need to see how it affects the project's timeline, budget, quality, safety, and even the environment around it. While risk management, think about preparing for a hike in the mountains. You check the weather and bring extra gear for unexpected rain. Risk management is like being prepared for anything that might go wrong. In projects, managing risks means thinking ahead about possible problems. For our building project, adding another floor might bring challenges like delays or budget overruns. So, you'd assess these risks and plan strategies to handle them. Thus, it sums up to evaluating the change's impact on project scope, schedule, budget, quality, safety, and environmental aspects. Conduct a risk assessment to identify potential challenges, risks, and mitigation strategies associated with the change. let's see approval and authorization. Imagine you're planning a big party, and you need permission from your parents to have it at home. Approval and authorization are like getting that green light to go ahead with your plans. In projects, getting approval means asking the right people if your change is okay. For our building project, you'd need approval from the project owners, regulatory authorities, like the city council, and other relevant parties before adding that extra floor. It sums up to obtaining necessary approvals from relevant stakeholders, including project owners, regulatory authorities, and any other relevant parties. Document the approved change and any conditions or constraints imposed by stakeholders. Next is change implementation plan. Imagine you're a director making a movie. You have the script, and now you need to plan each scene and action. A change implementation plan is like your roadmap for turning ideas into reality. In projects, like creating a new software, developing an implementation plan means breaking down the change into detailed steps. If you're adding a new feature, your plan would list tasks, who's responsible for each, when they need to be done, and what resources are needed. It could thus be said that developing a detailed plan for implementing the change, outlining specific tasks, responsible parties, timelines, and resource allocation. Address any modifications required in project plans, designs, procurement, contracts, or other project documents. Testing and validation. Picture this: you're baking a cake, and you want to make sure it's not only tasty but also safe to eat. So, you test a small piece first. Testing and validation in projects are a lot like this, making sure changes meet all the requirements. In projects, like building a bridge, testing and validation mean checking if the change works well and is safe. If you're changing the bridge's design to use a new material, you'd test it to make sure it's strong enough and safe for people to use. Conducting thorough testing and validation of the change to ensure it meets technical and safety requirements. Document the results of testing, including any adjustments or refinements made during this phase. Communication and training. Imagine you've created a fantastic new game, and you want your friends to play it. So, you explain the rules and show them how it works. Communication and training in projects are like sharing the rules of a new game. In projects, like upgrading software, communication means telling everyone about the change and why it's happening. Training means teaching the team members how to use and manage the new software effectively. Communicating the change to all relevant project team members and stakeholders, ensuring they understand its implications and benefits. Provide necessary training to team members involved in executing or overseeing the change. Next is monitoring and control. Imagine you're planting seeds in your garden, and you want to make sure they grow well. You water them regularly and watch for any signs of trouble. Monitoring and control in projects are a lot like this, keeping an eye on progress. In projects, like building a new road, monitoring means tracking how well the change is happening. If you're widening the road, you'd measure how much work has been done compared to the plan, making sure it's all on track. Monitor the implementation of the change, tracking progress against the established plan and key performance indicators, KPIs. Address any issues or deviations promptly and adjust the implementation plan if necessary. Next is documentation and lessons learned. Imagine you're writing a journal about your exciting adventures. You jot down what you learned, what worked, and what didn't. Documentation and lessons learned in projects are like creating a journal for future reference. In projects, documenting everything means keeping records of the whole change management process, from the first idea to the final outcome. After completing the project, you'd reflect on what went well and what could have been done differently, just like writing about your adventure. So, document the entire change management process, including approvals, plans, communications, and outcomes. Conduct a post-implementation review to capture lessons learned and insights for future projects. Next is closure and reporting. Picture this: you finish reading an amazing book, and you close it, knowing the story is complete. Closure and reporting in projects are like reaching the last page of the book and reflecting on the journey. After successfully completing the project, you'd wrap up the change management process. You'd archive all the documentation for future reference and generate reports summarizing what happened, how it went, and what was achieved. So, upon successful implementation, close the change management process, ensuring all documentation is archived for future reference. Generate reports summarizing the change, its impact, benefits realized, and any improvements identified for future changes. The benefits of a well-executed change control process are numerous and contribute to the smooth and effective management of changes within an organization. Change control refers to the systematic approach of planning, reviewing, approving, implementing, and monitoring changes to systems, processes, or projects. Here are some key benefits of a well-executed change control process. It improves teamwork. Change is an opportunity for your team to work together to figure out how to respond to the change request. The teamwork involved in change control can be a boon to the productivity of the entire project. A structured change control process helps assess and mitigate risks associated with changes. It allows organizations to identify potential issues before they escalate into larger problems, reducing the likelihood of disruptions or failures. By thoroughly evaluating and planning changes, a well-executed change control process helps minimize disruptions to ongoing operations. This ensures that changes are implemented in a controlled manner, reducing downtime and avoiding unexpected outages. Change control not only reinforces your team's ability to work better together, but the positive effects bleed into overall efficiency. It works hand in glove with teamwork, of course. But the more you engage your team in change control, the more adept they become at solving problems quickly. This helps with the change, naturally, but will also make your team more effective in all their duties. A standardized change control process promotes consistency across the organization. It ensures that changes are handled in a uniform manner, regardless of the team or department involved, leading to greater predictability and reliability. In regulated industries or environments, a well-executed change control process ensures compliance with industry standards, regulations, and best practices. It helps organizations maintain audit trails and documentation, demonstrating their adherence to required guidelines. Through proper planning and evaluation, change control helps allocate resources effectively. This prevents unnecessary expenditures on changes that might not bring significant benefits, while prioritizing high-impact changes. Change control informs the project manager during the planning phase of the project. They will start thinking about change and how to better respond to it and learn from their experience with change control to put more safeguards up front in their planning for future projects. Clear communication is essential during any change. A well-executed change control process ensures that all relevant stakeholders are informed about upcoming changes, their impact, and any required actions, fostering transparency and buy-in. By analyzing the outcomes of implemented changes, organizations can learn and improve over time. A robust change control process encourages a culture of continuous improvement, as lessons learned from previous changes are applied to future endeavors. Without proper change control, organizations might experience ad hoc changes that can lead to chaos and instability. A structured process provides a higher level of control over what changes are being made, why, and how they are implemented. Conflicts and misunderstandings can arise when changes are made without proper documentation and communication. A well-executed change control process reduces the likelihood of conflicts by ensuring that all relevant parties are on the same page regarding the changes being made. A structured change control process encourages data-driven decision-making. By collecting and analyzing data on the impacts of changes, organizations can make more informed choices about future changes, based on empirical evidence. In summary, a well-executed change control process offers improved risk management, operational stability, and transparency. It helps organizations adapt to evolving circumstances while maintaining control, compliance, and efficiency in their operations. Poorly executed change control can have significant negative consequences for organizations. When changes are not managed properly, they can lead to various issues that impact operations, quality, and overall business performance. Here are some of the downsides of poorly executed change control. The first major pitfall of a poorly executed change control is not reaching your project goals. The project will go over budget and miss deadlines. The quality can suffer, and that's just on the project level. The impact can also expand to an organizational level. Changes that are not properly planned and tested can lead to unexpected disruptions in operations. System failures, downtime, and outages can occur, affecting the organization's ability to deliver products or services. On the project level, outside of cost and risk, there can arise problems with the tools and technologies you use, processes getting disrupted, misleading reporting, and so on. Not handling change can lead to delays, missed milestones, having to rework design, and burning out your team. Poorly managed changes can introduce new risks or exacerbate existing ones. Without proper assessment and mitigation, organizations may inadvertently introduce vulnerabilities, security breaches, or regulatory non-compliance. Unplanned or poorly communicated changes can lead to confusion and inefficiencies among employees. Lost time spent troubleshooting issues can result in decreased productivity across the organization. Changes that are not adequately tested and validated can impact the quality of products or services. This can lead to customer dissatisfaction, reputational damage, and increased costs to rectify the issues. Without proper change control, the outcomes of changes become unpredictable. Organizations might not fully understand the implications of the changes they are implementing, leading to unintended consequences. The project might have to be put on hold or dismissed, which is a big hit to any organization. Poor change control can result in a lack of accountability. It becomes difficult to trace the responsible parties for specific changes, making it challenging to rectify issues or learn from mistakes. Inadequate communication about changes can lead to misunderstandings among stakeholders. Employees, customers, and partners might not be aware of the changes or their impacts, leading to confusion and frustration. Productivity takes a big hit, and you may start to lose team members. Those that remain are no longer working at the same level in terms of quality. This dip in morale then impacts customers, suppliers. This creates stress and fatigue, which leads to stagnation. Not a great scenario. Changes that are not properly managed can escalate into larger problems. A minor issue caused by a poorly executed change, if left unaddressed, can lead to cascading failures affecting multiple systems or processes. Poorly executed changes can consume resources without delivering meaningful benefits. This wastage of time, money, and effort can have a negative impact on the organization's bottom line. When changes are poorly managed, employees may become resistant to future changes due to negative past experiences. This resistance can hinder innovation and the organization's ability to adapt to new opportunities. In regulated industries, poorly executed changes can lead to legal and regulatory consequences. Non-compliance with industry standards or data protection regulations can result in fines and legal liabilities. Continual issues arising from poorly executed changes can create a culture of blame and mistrust within the organization. Team morale can suffer, leading to decreased employee engagement and collaboration. In summary, poorly executed change control can result in a range of detrimental effects, from operational disruptions and quality issues to decreased productivity and reputational damage. To avoid these downsides, organizations should prioritize implementing a robust change control process that ensures changes are planned, tested, communicated, and monitored effectively.